Stalker is a 1979 Soviet science fiction art film directed by Andrei Tarkovsky with a screenplay written by Arkady and Boris Strugatsky, loosely based on their 1972 novel Roadside Picnic. The film tells the story of an expedition led by a figure known as the Stalker, who guides his two clients, a melancholic writer seeking inspiration and a professor seeking scientific discovery, through a hazardous wasteland to a mysterious restricted site known simply as the Zone, where there supposedly exists a room which grants a person's innermost desires. The film combines elements of science fiction with dramatic philosophical, psychological, and theological themes. Plot: the protagonist, played by Alexander Kaidanovsky, works in an unnamed location as a stalker, leading people through the Zone, an area in which the normal laws of physics do not apply and remnants of seemingly extraterrestrial activity lie undisturbed among its ruins. The Zone contains a place called the Room, said to grant the wishes of anyone who steps inside. The area containing the Zone is shrouded in secrecy, sealed off by the government and surrounded by ominous hazards. At home with his wife and daughter, the stalker's wife, played by Elisa Freundlich, begs him not to go into the Zone, but he dismissively rejects her pleas. In a rundown bar cafe, the stalker meets his next clients for a trip into the Zone, the writer, played by Anatoly Solonitsyn, and the professor, played by Nikolai Grinko. They evade the military blockade that guards the Zone by following a train inside the gate and ride into the heart of the Zone on a railway work car. The stalker tells his clients they must do exactly as he says to survive the dangers which lie ahead, and explains that the Zone must be respected and the straightest path is not always the shortest path. The stalker tests for various traps by throwing metal nuts tied to strips of cloth ahead of them. He refers to a previous stalker named Porcupine, who had led his brother to his death in the Zone, visited the room, come into possession of a large sum of money, and shortly afterwards committed suicide. The writer is skeptical of any real danger, but the professor generally follows the stalker's advice. As they travel, the three men discuss their reasons for wanting to visit the room. The writer expresses his fear of losing his inspiration. The professor seems less anxious, although he insists on carrying along a small backpack. The professor admits he hopes to win a Nobel Prize for scientific analysis of the Zone. The stalker insists he has no motive beyond the altruistic aim of aiding the desperate to their desires. After traveling through the tunnels, the three finally reach their destination, a decayed and decrepit industrial building. In a small antechamber, a phone rings. The surprised professor decides to use the phone to telephone a colleague. As the trio approach the room, the professor reveals his true intentions in undertaking the journey. The professor has brought a 20-kiloton bomb with him, and he intends to destroy the room to prevent its use by evil men. The three men enter a physical and verbal standoff just outside the room that leaves them exhausted. The writer realizes that when Porcupine met his goal, despite his conscious motives, the room fulfilled Porcupine's secret desire for wealth rather than bring back his brother from death. This prompted the guilt-ridden Porcupine to commit suicide. The writer tells them that no one in the whole world is able to know their true desires, and as such it is impossible to use the room for selfish reasons. The professor gives up on his plan of destroying the room. Instead, he disassembles his bomb and scatters its pieces. No one attempts to enter the room. The stalker, the writer, and the professor are met back at the bar cafe by the stalker's wife and daughter. After returning home, the stalker tells his wife how humanity has lost its faith and belief needed for both traversing the Zone and living a good life. As the stalker sleeps, his wife contemplates their relationship in a monologue delivered directly to the camera. In the last scene, Martishka, the couple's deformed daughter, sits alone in the kitchen reading as a love poem by Fyodor Tyachev is recited. She appears to use psychokinesis to push 3 drinking glasses across the table, one falling off. A train passes by where the stalker's family lives, and the entire apartment shakes. About the film. The film, directed by Andrei Tarkovsky with a screenplay written by Arkady and Boris Strugatsky, loosely based on their 1972 novel Roadside Picnic. The film combines elements of science fiction with dramatic philosophical, psychological, and theological themes. Casting of the film was Alexander Kaidanovsky, Anatoly Solonitsyn, Elisa Freindlich, Nikolai Grinko, Natasha Abramova, Fame Journo, Yevgeny Kostin, Remo Rendy, and Vladimir Zamansky. The filming and production of the movie Stalker, 1979, involved a lengthy and challenging process. Directed by Andrei Tarkovsky, the film was shot in various locations in Estonia and the Soviet Union, including the Estonian SSR and the Russian SSR. Tarkovsky and his team faced numerous difficulties during production, such as issues with the weather, budget constraints, and conflicts with the authorities. The music and soundtrack of Stalker were composed by Eduard Artemiev. The haunting and atmospheric score perfectly complements the film's mysterious and introspective tone. Artemiev's music adds an ethereal and otherworldly quality to the visuals, enhancing the overall cinematic experience. Stalker was released on May 25, 1979, in the Soviet Union. The film had a budget of approximately 1 million ruble. There is no information on the film's box office, except that 4.3 million tickets were sold in the Soviet Union. The film had a limited release and was initially met with mixed reviews from critics. However, it gradually gained recognition and acclaim over the years, becoming regarded as one of the greatest films in cinematic history. The critical reception of Stalker has been overwhelmingly positive. Over the years, the film has gained a cult following and is highly regarded by critics and filmmakers alike. It is praised for its philosophical themes, mesmerizing visuals, and deep exploration of human nature and existence. Stalker is often considered a masterpiece of Soviet cinema, a landmark in science fiction and art house filmmaking, and one of the greatest films in all-time cinematic history. The legacy of Stalker is substantial. It has influenced numerous filmmakers and artists with its distinctive visual style and philosophical approach. The film's themes and imagery continue to resonate with audiences, sparking discussions and interpretations. Stalker has also been recognized in various international film festivals and retrospectives, solidifying its status as a significant and enduring work of cinema. 5 interesting facts about Stalker movie. 1. Stalker was highly controversial upon its release due to its critical portrayal of Soviet society. 2. The zone of the film was inspired by a nuclear accident that took place near Chelyabinsk in 1957. 3. Andrei Tarkovsky wanted to abandon further work on the film multiple times. 4. The director, assistant director, and one of the lead actors died of a rare form of lung cancer. It has been hypothesized that their long-term exposure to chemicals in the water working on this film caused these illnesses. 5. Stalker is one of the few films to receive a 100% rating from critics on Rotten Tomatoes.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more interesting videos and don't forget to press like button and share.